No. Like use that as the overlay on the text. Is what I meant.
No.
Okay, how was that roll?
Sorry, I did not specify.
It's fine.
It looks unrealistic how glued that is. Like, how are you doing that with ease?
Practice.
Like it's sitting in a cup.
He's using the Bacchus mod.
Oh, he's just spamming down.
Yeah. He definitely is.
You can definitely see the controller overlay.
Nah, he's definitely spamming down. I don't see a controller overlay.
On the stream? Nice.
Oh, he does.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Big day today. Finally got that dump we've been hoping for. Seems like we're just getting started. Let's get into some TA. We're going to talk about what we kind of referred to on Saturday. And one thing I want to note is we had a live stream on Saturday, of course. I moved it to Saturday because I couldn't do it Friday. And we had talked about this indicator right here, the put call indicator. And what it marked was a potential local top. That meaning when we invert here and when we're bottoming here, that implies that we're at a local top. We went up again, implying we didn't go up too high. We actually see 4 levels of divergence. So that's not a strong move. Now we're headed back down, which tells me that this move is just getting started in terms of dumping. Again, we have been talking about the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ for quite some time. I have said multiple times that this is going to be a slow and painful chop. It is not going to dump 50% tomorrow. It's not going to dump 20% tomorrow. It definitely could, but we know that we're entering stagflation, recession, deflation, all of the above. So, again, just pointing that out, I believe we're back below the 20 and it bounced off the 50 here. If we lose the 50 again, I hate to say this for my stock people that are long-term, but your long-term account is going to drop significantly. There's no way that this is not a breakout and retest at this point if we drop through this. Again, going back to the Dow, we are now below the 50, seeing this death cross. Again, our signal that was a potential local top here, and the put call indicator again, when you make a V shape like this, it is an indication of a local top, especially as we're seeing lots of divergence here. Again, we talked about the Saturday. Can't confirm this to a super high degree, but so far our findings are very accurate. And then last but not least, the NASDAQ, same thing, put call indicator showing a local top. We are actually green this week, but again, just kind of testing the 50. Honestly, low volume. This just looks like a breakdown and a retest to go further down. For those of you that don't know, the Bitcoin cryptocurrency follow the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 to a very significant degree. When the NASDAQ and S&P 500, which the NASDAQ represents the tech sector, when the NASDAQ goes up in price, so will Bitcoin. To some degree. It doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to go up 10x, 20x. But if the NASDAQ is on a tear like this, Bitcoin is most likely in a bull market. Yo, what's up, Yakuza? How's it going? Cashflow, how's it going? Robert, how's it going? Possible Bitcoin bull flag since rejection? Nope. Jimmy, Roman, you were right about the weekly death cross the first time. It just took a few days to kick in. I don't think it was invalidated. We are going down. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a moment. I've received a lot of hate and a lot of stupid comments over the last couple weeks. And, I'm glad that maybe some of you made a nice 10 to 20 to 30% move. If you're a degenerate, you longed with your whole account and you absorbed the top and the bottom. But I'm guessing that was less than 0.5% of you. Most people lost longing because they didn't know when to sell. Most people, I don't even need to go into details. All these people saying that they made all these great, crazy gains, I doubt it. Ask them to show you. I doubt it. I doubt they did anything. They either didn't trade it, bought the top, or they bought way too late and made a very small gain. All these bottom buyers, all these bottom callers, it's not realistic. Ignore the noise. So real quick, total. I mean, it doesn't get any more perfect than this. We have been talking about this yellow level for quite some time. We actually rejected it perfectly. I see us going back down to 1.62, possibly, forming a big-ass double bottom here. But for now, this just looks like a breakdown retest, and it's going to continue going lower, as we've said throughout these weeks. This is a scenario that we talked about. Although I said unlikely, it is a scenario we talked about. Total 2, same thing. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail here. Just a breakdown retest will continue lower. Total 3, again, same scenario. It seems that our resistance is 822, so we're going to plot that just for future case. It seems like around this wick. That's where we've been trying to figure out where this middle resistance area is. So I'm actually going to delete this bottom one and leave that there. This diagonal line, again, although you could say is a breakout, guys, diagonal lines are not a measurement of accuracy when trading. You should follow your horizontal areas of support and resistance. Why bother talk about them, haters? Just because I like pissing them off. The only explanation I have. Why CT influencers always talk about trolls and haters for real? Why would you hate on someone if they have a different opinion? I don't know. What do you do if your indicators contradict, like on the NASDAQ death cross bearish, but the MACD crossing up bullish? MACD is a very light indicator, and just because it's crossing up does not imply bullishness. That's something that people are misled, and also I don't use one indicator. If one of my 10 indicators is showing bullishness, but the other 9 are bearish, I'm bearish. That's why there are multiple indicators up on this screen. DXY is breaking out, guys. We've been following this. We've been following the consolidation. We've been following the technicals, the fundamentals. Everything about this is bullish. What does this mean? This means that your stocks, your cryptos, your assets are all going to drop. This means you are entering a deflationary time period, and we should see recession fairly soon. We also know that the yield curve is inverting. We know that the Fed is increasing rate hikes. We know that nothing at all looks bullish. We're not in a bull market environment at all. Now, there is a possibility that we see stock market all-time highs, as we've talked about the idea that right before a recession, or right when you enter stage 1 of recession, the stock market actually goes on an all-time high tear with extremely low volume. You guys are more than welcome to invest in that, but if I'm going to be completely honest, the dump that follows is very, very hard to catch. Roman, where do you actually stream? Your background looks so empty. Not a flower for positive vibes. I'm in my basement. It's like the dungeon down here, man. I just store shit down here. Working on buying a house in Florida. So once I do that, we'll have some more positive vibes in the room. But for now, you're in the trading dungeon, man. All my computer shit's down here, and honestly, I didn't feel like decorating it. When I move to my new place, we will certainly put up, all different stuff. I've been thinking about streaming like other content as well, but for now, it's a work in progress. I'm not like too concerned with the stream background. It's more about the content. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's a minimalist. Nah, maybe. Not really. Not really. All right, let's keep moving on. USDT.D, we talked about this. We bounced right off support. We saw a double bottom on hour 4. Now, granted, this should probably have a small pullback, and I would imagine that we do something like this. Just a small pullback, continue up, retest this area of support right here. Maybe you see a small bounce with crypto and altcoins, but again, I wouldn't be looking to trade a bounce. That's suicidal because you never know when the bounce will happen. You never know if it will happen. This thing could just continue going up. There's no reason that it shouldn't. All right, let's get into Bitcoin. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this chart we've been following for the last couple weeks. We've talked about it quite a bit in terms of the death cross. And I know I've gotten a lot of stupid comments like, oh, a death cross is the 20 or the 50 over the 200. It's completely objective in what you think a death cross is. It's just moving averages crossing over each other. So again, in 2014, we had this death cross, the 20 over the 50. We dropped 63% from death cross to bottom. In 2018, similar situation, death cross, retests of the cross, and then dropped another 63% to the bottom. Now here in 2022, we have a death cross. We are actually respecting the death cross at this very moment. We are back below both the 50 and the 20 weekly moving averages. This is about as bearish as it gets in terms of a breakdown and retest for continuation to the downside. This is what I've been talking about for quite some time. For whatever reason, people don't understand a macro outlook and they think that Bitcoin just goes up forever. Guys, although yes, Bitcoin has gone up over time, these huge capitulation crashes are not worth holding. You can buy, you can sell anywhere at the top, buy back 63% lower, ride the shit out of it. Again, sell somewhere up here, buy somewhere here. I mean, you could even sell somewhere here and rebuy here, and you're still in a very good place. The 200 weekly moving average has acted as a bottom for Bitcoin, although I do not think it'll act as a bottom in the future. We are about to enter a very sickening recession. The federal government has absolutely screwed its people. And, I don't like to go into politics. I really hate politics. I hate politicians. I'm not a fan. But they have essentially delayed the inevitable with COVID. Printing all the money, putting people out of work, putting all these government unemployment practices in where people are making 80% of their net salary without even working. I mean, people are just abusing this. The Dungeon Master. I like the minimalism look. Thank you. Just a boring sour bear. Yeah, that's funny because I was bullish all of 2021, all of 2020. You're just an idiot. Recessions have been on average 18 months after inversion of the yield curve. This could take some time. Yes, absolutely. Why is Michael Saylor always buying the top? He did the same thing in the dot-com bubble. Do your own research. Same exact thing in the dot-com bubble. All right, but now we cover the weekly. Let's look at the daily. So daily, I have my supply and demand zones here. We have broken down through a previous supply zone, which turned into demand briefly. And honestly, 42 to about 42.5 to 42K is our next area of slight demand. Again, guys, this is not looking bullish at all. None of this volume was bullish, and none of this gaining selling volume is bullish either. I am anticipating this to crash all the way down to here, at least 38, if not much lower. You are seeing a bear flag in full form. This was a massive dead cat bounce, again, proven by low volume, price going up. And again, we've looked at these moves in the past, and I've talked about price action for the last 5 months. We have volume increasing, price dropping. We have volume decreasing, price rising. We have volume or price decreasing, volume increasing. All of this is bearish. Now we get into this bear flag. We actually have volume decreasing, price increasing. Again, bearish. Now we come down, lower volume, so kind of ranging. Again, we try to break out of the flag again with lower volume. Another sign of weakness, another sign of bearish price action, another sign of just weakness in this market. Very much bearishness in this market. And again, for those people that are in the audience today that say all I say are bearish things, in the May to July crash, and you're more than welcome to go through my 3,000 tweets and look this up. I'm tired of sending this. I was bullish here. This was volume going down, price drifting down. Ultimately bullish price action, ultimately bullish divergences here between MACD and RSI. I had bought in between the 33 and 36K range, and I sold about 50K for a 50% gain. So, yes, your 20% gain was great, but while you were sitting here listening to your Moon Boy friends either be silent or say that we were going to 20 or 30K, I was buying at that range. There was bullish implications. What is that badass Bollinger? I don't even use it. Bitcoin bound. I mean, I'll show you what it looks like, but I don't even use it because it's like, what is that? That's more from a friend of mine was showing it to me, and I just haven't removed it yet. Nothing against them, I just never use it. Yo, what's up, Solus? How's it going, brother? This man more bearish than a real bear. Somewhat. When I see something bullish, I'll be bullish, bro. Like, there's nothing bullish about this at all. Not in the slightest. Yeah, Solus. I'm a crypto trader, crypto influencer on Twitter. Aside from like gaming and shit, I trade and I post analytics. I run a Discord with about 4,000 members, teach a trading class. More than welcome to check it out, man. All that's the Discord links somewhere in the chat. I love my squiggles. There he is. I knew he was out in the crowd. I knew he was there. But all right, let's talk about this current move. On the daily, I am not seeing any sort of selling weakness. We have volume going up, price going down. That's very, very bearish. We have closed below our demand zone here. Just another sign of weakness. Yes, we could retest this, maybe do something like this, but ultimately, until I see weakness on the selling side, I don't see any reasons why this should go up in the short term. Again, MACD crossing into the selling territory, seeing lots of divergence here with RSI. All bearish indications, all bearish implications. Again, our moving averages. Now our 20 is starting to slope down. Our 50 will remain stagnant until we get a death cross. On the day of that death cross, I do anticipate a small bounce, as we know that has been a consistent indication. We rejected off the 200 moving average. Again, another sign of bearishness, a breakdown, a retest for more continuation to the downside. It's sick as hell. All I did for money was serve and shit. Well, you came to the right place if you got extra stuff, man. I'm a very honest person in this market, and I tell it how it is, man. Thoughts on Elliott waves, I don't use them. They're useless. Like 99% of people that use them are wrong. Nothing against them. If you use them and you find success, then use what you find successful. But every time I see someone with an Elliott wave theory, it's 100 people going like this. They're like, oh, it could do this. And then someone else says, oh, it could do this. And then someone else says, no, it'll do this. And then we're in a wave 5 flat theory like this. No, we're in a skiddly-diddly-do pattern like this. So you have 100 people saying 100 different things, and 1% of them's right. So then we say, oh, my Elliott wave theory worked. Like, also what I notice with Elliott wave people is they give you like 5 different scenarios. They'll be like, oh, it's like this, or it's like that, or it's like this, and then like that, and then it's like this. And then when they're right on one of them, they're like, Elliott wave theory called it all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't really add up. Like, it like makes some sense here. Doesn't really make any sense. That's what I meant to say. OI increasing on all futures with price falling. That's an indication that I'm pretty sure that's an indication that this market's selling off. Also, we saw that there were huge inflows. Guys, we saw huge, like tens of thousands of Bitcoin inflow to exchanges on this whole leg up. And people just completely ignored it. And people are like, oh, like Quan or whatever his name is buying, like the billionaire's buying. And it's like, okay, he might be buying. No, sorry, he's not might be buying. He is buying, but He's just changing hands with another whale. He's not cutting into the supply. He's not reducing supply and increasing demand. Although he is another participant in the space, he is not decreasing supply, which will not, in return, cause price to rise. If he was buying the amount that he said he was buying, we wouldn't have stopped here. We wouldn't have topped out here. This whole market profile wouldn't have looked bearish. Bro, you're the number one guy, so honest and spot on with your TA. Much appreciated. Thank you. Hey, anytime. More than happy to help. More than happy to help. All right, let's look at some lower time frames. 12-hour. Yeah, guys, again, with the price action, you're seeing an increase in selling as price is decreasing. This is never a good sign, especially as you cut through demand. Moving forward, I think we might backtest this area and then continue lower. It all depends what happens with 42, but 42 isn't a huge level of demand. So I would anticipate that 40 or if not lower in the 38K area is tested. Again, this is picking up a lot of strength. We have not hit oversold territory on the daily or the 12-hour. So, medium term, this is going to continue to drop. We're also seeing, I think this is a cup and handle. It's not a double top. I think it actually is a cup and handle, which would be an inverted cup and handle because we know a cup and handle is bullish. This would be an inverted cup and handle, so it's bearish. We should expect the trend to change and go down in the future. Let's look at the 4-hour. 4-hour, yeah, this tells all of it. You have volume increasing, price decreasing. Again, very obvious cup and handle here. We should continue lower. Now, although I will say the 4 hours oversold in this period, so we could see a bounce in the next couple days to maybe retest 44.4, 44.2, somewhere in that area. But again, we're not so oversold to the point where a huge bounce is coming. We've seen the 4-hour drop all the way down to 17 points in RSI. So this could very well just continue sideways for a little while or just continue dropping. I mean, this volume's pretty violent, and I think the selling is not stopped yet. Mayfair thinks we are in an A correction on the monthly. Again, I don't mess with Elliott waves. I don't care. It's funny. I had someone try to teach me Elliott waves, and they were supposedly very remarkable with Elliott waves. And they tried telling me that this wasn't a top, and we were going to go to 150K. So at that point, and again, that's one example of many examples I have with Elliott wave theory. But after that, I was just done with it. I didn't care to learn it. I've seen enough. It's not an accurate representation of where anything's going. There aren't implications of momentum. There aren't implications of supply and demand. It's literally just you going like this on a chart and saying that's how price is going to move. Yes, there will be one person with Elliott wave of the 1,000 that do it. That's right. But for the most part, I just don't find them as reliable. And not nearly as reliable as price action. I do an inverse chart. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what would you say that this is? We've now hit support, and we should continue to resistance at around 39,000. So, looks like similar like a double bottom. Again, volume's increasing here. We should continue up. So, I don't know what conclusions you're going to get from an inverse chart that I didn't just give you. Map law. Where is map law? Where is map law? You said last year that death crosses can have an inverse effect in the short term as market makers liquidate shorts at the cross. I think that's what happened over the last few days. Yeah, that's what I think happened too, and I told my trading students the same. Those that listened, didn't make trades, didn't risk anything, and they got a little break. Guys, trading isn't about absorbing every single move in this market. Trading is playing your system, letting the trades come to you, and trading what makes sense according to your system. In my system, I had no idea other than selling and supply and demand where to make trades here. Nothing looked bullish to me, and I don't long if things don't look bullish. I don't long in environments that aren't bullish. Now, granted, if we come back down, make a double bottom, maybe volume starts going up, then yes, I will long here, and I will continue to long until I see exhaustion. But this whole move, this is a 20% move with volume going down the entire time, multitudes of divergences on hourly time frames, and ultimately weakness across the board in terms of sentiment. So if you're going to tell me, oh, you're an idiot for not trading this, that's fine. 20% isn't going to make or break me. And over the last 2 years, I've made 50 times what you've made in the first. I've been trading this market since 2017, late 2016. I've been here a lot longer than you. My portfolio is a lot larger than yours. I'm more experienced in this market. It is okay to not trade every single move. Do I have a certain schedule for streaming? Yes, it's posted on Twitter and in Discord Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 6 p.m. Eastern. That's funny how all of CT now yelling about how they will buy at 42K. Too obvious point to buy. They will get slaughtered. Most likely. Like I said, until I see exhaustion on the daily, I'm not looking to buy. Like, we haven't seen any sort of seller's exhaustion in the last 5 to 6 months. We've been in a downtrend. And again, guys, you turn this into a line chart, right? This looks like the market just went down, bounced, and should continue going down more. Now, although this is a daily and it's over a much longer time frame, this is months, it's still in a downtrend. And for those people that say this move is the same as this, look at both these moves and tell me that they're the same. One is pointing up with volume going down. One is pointing down with volume going down. This is bullish price action. This is bearish price action. So again, I think these two moves are being used to counteract each other. You had Boon Boy saying that this was a bullish move. This was similar to May through July, when it's actually in fact not. And all the statistics around this move are entirely bearish, where here we were actually more bullish and looking for that dead cat bounce upward to 50K. All that analysis that I've given you is I've posted on TradingView. I can even pull up the old TradingView charts if needed. It's all there. It's funny to me that people call me a perma bear still, because man, I've made 99 times more being long in this market than short. You got another indicator that you recommend that you don't have open right now? Bollinger Bands for figuring out volatility, maybe. Excuse me. And then maybe Ichimoku Cloud, just as a general support zone. I don't really, in terms of a bounce, it's really hard to say because we could just get a bunch of selling all the way down. But here are my demand zones. We could bounce here. We could bounce down here. Essentially, that's what I believe. But all right, let's move on. Let's get into Bitcoin dominance real quick. So this is the last point I wanted to go over today. And then obviously looking at Ethereum, just because I had a beautiful short setup with Ethereum. Bitcoin dominance. We've been following this double bottom. Very, very bullish. We kind of broke up. Now we're back testing support. This is very, very bullish. A breakout back test. Very, very bullish. Now, bullish for Bitcoin dominance, bearish for the rest of the crypto space. We know when Bitcoin starts outperforming altcoins, we are ultimately in a bear market. So with that said, this I would anticipate would continue at least to 44%. Possibly revert and can come down. I'm not going to outrule that possibility. But for now, we have bounced and we should continue going up in the short term. Short to medium term, I would even argue. Do I ever trade Renko chart? No, I don't. How long have I been trading? About 8 years. 8 years. Hello from PR. When can I buy Dogecoin now or wait? Man, I don't really buy altcoins unless we're in a true bull market. So you got gold on your list. Can we check it quick? Yeah, we can look at gold real quick. So yeah, gold. Something we've been following. A couple weeks ago, we actually saw like a perfect double top, and we're kind of coming back down to support. This would need to continue going higher, or possibly break down and follow our blue line there. But ultimately, if we zoom out here, I hate to say this about gold, but that looks like a perfect double top. Now you have essentially have a double top setup. You have divergence here. You have divergence here. I mean, this should essentially come down at least to the white line, maybe the blue, but you break below the blue and gold will continue to go down. Ultimately, I mean, things can change. We can consolidate and go up here, but this is a pretty good double top setup in terms of gold. Gold weekly. But we are holding support right about here. So if we can continue to hold that, that's a positive sign for gold in the future. Gold sucks. Gold, I don't really trade gold. I've never traded gold. I only really trade crypto, and I really like to look for long opportunities. I'm waiting for one that makes sense. Trust me, guys, I'd love to long this market. I really would, but I'm not longing something that goes up for 14 days, is bearish on every single one of my indicators, and ultimately not giving me any positive signs of growth in the future. Yo, it's Hallow. Don't want to interrupt, but check DM. Yeah, 1 second, bro. Yo, Hallow. I'm gonna end the stream in like 5 minutes, so I can talk to you after. I just sent you a message. All right, guys. I'm gonna look at Ethereum and then we'll call it a day. It's Wednesday. It's raining. I feel like shit. I was sick all week and now my allergies are bothering me. But let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum, the daily. For those of you that didn't know, we had this plotted on the 4-hour. Sorry, not the daily. The 4-hour. We had an ascending wedge here. We had lots of bearish divergence. We had price going up, RSI going down, lots of divergence here. And now ultimately we're seeing price or volume increase and price decrease. We have entered demand, so we could have a nice little bounce, but ultimately I think this will continue to the downside. The most volume we've seen in this uptrend is actually a selling candle here. Keep that in mind, because if I'm going to be completely honest, this just looks like down, a bounce, and should continue going down, just like we said with Bitcoin. The most volume we've had in really the last 30 days has been a selling candle. Again, keep that in mind. It just goes to show that when serious volume comes into this market, it looks like it's selling. It looks like sellers are in control. It does not look like buyers are in control. Buyers are not leading this market. Sellers are. All of these bounces and upward moves are just, all they are just ways that sellers are controlling the market and selling at better prices. Distribution. It's called distribution for a reason. But yeah, guys, with that said, I'm going to end it there. I've got some business I got to take care of today, unfortunately. But with all that said, if you guys are interested in a new exchange, I recommend Bitget. They have they have the highest rated security rating of all the exchanges, at least in the U.S. Top 5 derivatives liquidity. Great support team, easy to use mobile app, much more. You should check it out. All the details are in my Discord, also in the live chat. I'm still doing the trading classes until May. We've talked about this before. Details are in Discord. And with all that said, guys, please be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.